I am Bloodhound. You can call me Bloodhound.
So Bloodhound is one of the 8 characters available in Apex Legends. They've got a lot of lore surrounding them, despite the fact that their lore says that there's not that much you can actually know solidly about them. They interact with some sort of raven companion or something along those lines when we first see her in the trailers and on the selection screen, and ravens were so important to the Norse people that to starve one was to be a fool. Odin gave his ravens the ability to speak the speech of man, so that they traveled the earth, and when they did, Odin was updated on all the new happenings and all the news of the world. Now, Vikings also included ravens on their shields or carvings to be given the power of Odin himself. And similarly, Bloodhound does wear some sort of fur around their necks. Certain shamanic warriors believed that wearing certain furs, like wolf furs for instance, gave them special protective qualities, but there are also other reasons as to why they might have worn wolf fur on their persons generally. See, these shamans believed that through certain rituals, they could be granted certain boons during battle. These boons and benefits included not feeling pain and entering a certain frenzy or rage that really invigorated them and helped them in combat. Here's where Bloodhound's ultimate comes in, Beast of the Hunt. It's a boost to their movement speed and their prey's highlighted. It fits because these shamans of Odin believed that they could literally become these beasts in battle, like bears or wolves. The evidence for a warrior actually transforming into one of these animals admittedly comes from the sagas, but they were said to strike fear in the hearts of their enemies and cause chaos on the battlefield. Usually when I pop the ult, I'm trying to find someone that's running away or that I'm tracking down anyway, so this fits. Akin to running from a dangerous beast or challenging a dangerous foe. You know, you're on your toes, you're probably going to be on your back foot or prepared to run. Bloodhound may very well believe that they can turn into some sort of beast during their ult because they make several references to Odin and old gods, and it's thought that berserkers or shamanic warriors had to complete several rites to gain the powers that they got. Ulfhenar, or wolf warriors, were more commonly associated with Odin, and of all the gods, Bloodhound is clearly being connected with Odin more than anyone else. Considering that we're in a sci-fi universe here, it's not too far-fetched to think that this could be part of the reason why Bloodhound is a non-binary character, because they genuinely believe that they're turning into some sort of beast, or that a part of them is becoming more beastly than person. But there are a couple of problems with Bloodhound being able to transform, or Hamas, meaning to change form. A, she's not naked, and the Berserkers or the Ulfhenar were naked, so that's a problem. Which might not necessarily be a problem, and you could consider her to be naked in a sense at the start of a game, considering the fact that you wouldn't have any shields or a helmet or anything like that. But B, she doesn't really snarl or act overly animal-like, other than the enemies and their tracks are highlighted in red, and specifically wolves can pick up on the color red. Other than that, she's more or less colorblind. So it would sort of be fitting for her to be becoming some sort of beast in that sense. But there was also the fact that these berserkers, these shamanic warriors, were said to experience some sort of high whilst they were transformed, and then as soon as the effect was over, they enter some sort of depression or depressive state, less effective in combat once this high ended. So whilst the character does have references to these shamanic warriors, the ultimate itself is definitely having a stronger reference to the Wild Hunt. And this was also known as Terrifying Ride, or Odin's Skijat, or Odin's Hunt. It included black horses, black bucks, hounds that rode through forests, and they carried huntsmen on their backs. Odin himself would even lead the hunt, and its victims might find themselves dropped from a height to their death, which isn't all that different from what would happen to you or what the Bloodhound would expect to happen to you after popping the skill, whilst hunting you down, of course. Perhaps you could even make a case for Bloodhound partially turning into some sort of wolf on account of the colours you can see during the ultimate. But of course, the Wild Hunt wasn't just one person chasing down someone or a target. It was multiple creatures attacking one target. So the fact that you can see ravens during the ult just spawning as you chase down your target is a nice reference to that. It's not a solo hunt. You are sort of being guided or helped along your way. Next up we have Ive the Allfather, which is another one of her skills, and it references the fact that to try and stave off the horror of Ragnarok, or to try and avoid the Great Prophecy, Odin trades an eye with Mimir for a drink from this well of knowledge, and Mimir is of course taking care of this well of knowledge, and in return for this drink, Odin gains great wisdom. And during this skill, Bloodhound has the ability to see enemies. It's very limited vision, but she can see enemies for an instant, exactly where they are in that instant. It doesn't constantly update Bloodhound as to where the enemy is, but for an instant, she gets insight or knowledge as to where the enemy is. And her passive gives her clues as to where the enemy might be, knowledge of the enemy's locations, things like that, from their footsteps to them reloading or changing ammo, things like that. So those things combined are a very nice throwback to Norse mythology and Odin there. And as I said, Bloodhound is most commonly connected to Odin than any other Norse god. She's referenced in her lore being able to transform into a bat. Odin has been known to change his form, and the gods generally can shapeshift, like Loki, for instance, could shapeshift. And parts of her character are shrouded in mystery, just like parts of Norse mythology that have been lost or damaged and just unknown to us. So, in all those ways, she's actually a very strong character lore-wise, despite what you might think and how deceptively that might be presented. The last part of her character that we're going to talk about is the fact that her appearance generally makes her seem like she was some sort of pilot. If you look at sort of her gear generally, you look at her helmet, probably get the sense that she was perhaps some sort of pilot. And of course, piloting what? Perhaps a Titan pilot, or maybe a plane, we don't exactly know. But on her chest, or on some of the metal pieces of her chest, on her chest, or some of the metal pieces on her chest, 170. Certain planes that were used during the World Wars, like the Fuga CM.170 Magister, were planes flown and used by many countries. So there's a nice tidbit and food for thought. I'm not much of a plane guy, but there you go. And yes, that was some of the lore behind Bloodhound. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. It's always good for motivation. And of course, subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. If you think I missed anything that's jumping out at you about Bloodhound, or there are other things you'd like to talk about the character, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Happy to discuss some of those with you. And until the next video, have a very good day. I've been Prime, and I'll see you in a few. Bye-bye.